in half.
He's just a good old boy who loves burning rubber and driving fast.
Just what you want to do at 8 o'clock in the morning, picking up short block.
Makes all the blood go to all the right muscles.
Exactly. Here, I got it.
Right. Oh, man.
Clear on the wires.
You wrapped up? Wrapped up. I'm trying good.
All right, so been at the shop all day. Jimbo's been busy as can be, and y'all will see some stuff on RWR TV that I just did with Rick and the shop tour that we did for right here. So Jimbo, Nikki's not here today, but I wanted to just quickly catch up on Gainesville. Everybody was mad at me because I didn't sit down in the lounge with you. They love our sitting in the lounge and yakking. So Bradenton went freaking great, and Gainesville, kind of like last year, it kicked our butt a little bit.
Yeah, I was mad at you that you didn't come talk to us either.
I know it.
Yeah, you know, we had such high expectations going to Gainesville after Bradenton. You know, we had such great success there, whether it was testing or during the pro race, the pro superstar shootout race. And you know, so we went there, and the first two runs didn't go too bad. You know, we dropped a cylinder on the first run, you know, further down track, and clicked it off, but it still went at 387 at 270.
Yeah.
You know, when you drop the cylinder, you just don't want to leg it out, and so that's okay. But then the next run we went 372. We were a little on the conservative side because we didn't know what Saturday was going to be like, and we wanted to make sure we got a good representative run in case it did rain on Saturday. We were, you know, solid in the show and in the top half. The first run Saturday, once we finally got to run, I mean, it was running really good. You know, probably a 70 flat if I had to guess. And we had something weird go on mechanically inside of the engine that we're still not completely sure about. But basically, the engine basically quit running. And you know, we had some damage. We found something wrong with, you know, related to the ignition that maybe we could point a finger at, but Nikki and I aren't 100% sure about this, and we're looking at other things as well. And it's really hard because we went 372 Friday night and the motor looked absolutely perfect. We put another short block in because we like to rotate stuff, and yeah, for some reason that short block didn't want to live much anymore.
Yeah, which is kind of where the almost viral video of we messed around and gave Lutz a hammer and told him to get the oil pan off of it.
I know, I saw that.
No, Mr. Lutz is really getting happy.
And I see this video going around, and I'm just like, you know, like, oh man, why do we got to show that? Take that down.
Can't give Jeff a hammer, that's for sure.
But yeah, you and your content. It's been a winter full of content. Whether it's down in Bradenton, got your sisters in on the act. It's great. But yeah, so that was disappointing, you know, to have that happen. And then, you know, we went up for the next run, and you know, we just screwed up, you know, Q4 and E1 with probably I would say more of our chassis setup than anything. And we, found a mistake that we made, with our chassis setup. And, when you're trying to run these cars as hard as we do and on the edge all the time, and you're trying to get every little bit of ET out of it, you push that envelope all the time. And, and sometimes we talk about, well, we're pushing the engine envelope, or we're pushing the clutch envelope. We're also pushing the chassis setup envelope as well. And so that's something that this week, Nikki and myself and Jesse and the team, we sat down and we had a good meeting about, okay, how can we better communicate to everybody what we want, and and how do we keep these silly little mistakes from happening that end up costing you a qualifying position or even a round. Now I will say this, we had nothing for Doug Kalitta first round. We weren't trying to run
Nobody
365 did. And but we were trying to run 368. But looking back at it, we shouldn't even have been in that position of having to run Doug. But as we say sometimes, it is what it is, and we're not going to look in the rearview mirror. We're going to look forward, because I've always said, if you look in the rearview mirror, you're not looking forward, and you're going to crash.
Yep.
And we're excited about going to Pomona though.
Yep.
And get back to where we were at Bradenton, because we were pretty excited about where we ended up there.
And I mean, let's face it, in all reality, chasing the chassis is still a big learning curve because of the thicker front tubing. I mean, yes, we ran that car in Pomona, but it's still not that many runs, because that's a big change from what we were used to.
Yeah, it's sometimes I look at it as I don't want to think about that change, but you're right, it is a change. And we just have to get more dialed in, and in some areas maybe open up that margin of error a little bit to make things a little bit more user friendly for us.
Right. I mean, it's just different than what it was, and we've only had X amount of conditions. So off camera there, I was waving for Jesse to come over. Grab that seat right quick. Got a couple questions for the old car chief here, while I got both of you here.
Hey, Clay's he's doing content.
I'm getting content.
He is the content master.
I'm the content king, at least on our
3
team.
million views.
Oh no,
Subscribers.
we did 4 at Bradenton. All right, so Jesse, we are literally kind of coming off, I don't know what you call it, the preseason testing. Yes, Gainesville's a real race and all that, but now we're headed on a West Coast swing. For you, what preparations does it take? I mean, this truck, you just loaded up the race car, and we're going out west, and we won't be back for a month, basically. So for you, what's different than going to Gainesville?
A lot of ordering. You got to plan for 3 races. Go from California, week off, leaving the trucks out there, going to Phoenix, then Vegas. It's just, now we have, instead of 6 motors for Gainesville, right? We have 8, hopefully get another 4th blower, and all the preparation is done back at the shop where we're not really building on the road. So now if we, hurt a motor, or, we'll take it out of service, we'll take the crank out of it, check the main line on it, and we'll re-crank it right then and there, just putting stuff back in services.
Yep. So in between Gainesville and right now, it's more short blocks have been put together, more heads, more everything. Yep. Is that right?
Pretty much more everything, getting ready for the 3 races. So if we hurt something, we'll take it back to our shop in Mooresville. We're coming back here. Dennis will fix it, then we'll bring it back on the plane in Phoenix. Then build it back up.
So you just mentioned a week off. What will the team do when they have a week in between races and we're that far away? What's kind of the standard operating for that?
So it's different this time around. Usually you're off. Izzy's going to Phoenix because he's got family out there. They pretty much fly you anywhere they want, where your family's at. I'm out of Michigan. But it's different this time. Actually, we're picking up the spare car out of Indy. We're gonna bring it back here. We're gonna tool black it, and then we're gonna start building it together. The spare car will be completely ready to go, wired, hopefully after Charlotte.
A lot of questions. Do we carry a spare car? Last year we did not, and you all spent a lot of time chasing up and down the road between him and me and a blown tire. We threatened a lot of mileage out of y'all.
Yeah, but you know, that's right.
I really shouldn't blame you. You weren't on the throttle when it popped the wheelie that time. That was me.
Well, you know, like we had that spare car.
We did.
And then we used it after Dallas, and I'm like, well, we have 2 races left. Like,
Right.
we don't really need to be in a hurry to get that one fixed, like with the new rules and all this stuff. It's like, you know, oh, we're going to be fine going to Vegas and Pomona with the one car. And boy, I was wrong. Jeez. You know, and so it's, you know, calling up Nick at Castertano at Schumacher is like, hey, buddy, can you get that other car done? We're just
In a week.
in a week.
Less than a week, really.
Yeah.
Man, we got there, me and Kaylin got there 2 o'clock, had it unloaded, stripped, or Blaine had it already there. By the time we got there, they fitted the front, top, and bottom frame rails. And less than 24 hours, it was in our hands, and less than 24 hours, we built it. So, then less than 24 hours, me and Kaylin are driving back to Cali.
Yeah. We don't need to do that no more.
No.
We'll be more prepared.
No, we're gonna do our best to try to not let that happen again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the irony of it is that car that we blew the tire out with at Las Vegas, that was our good old car that we had.
Yeah.
That we put all those runs on, like
Yeah.
over 300 runs on the front half and all this stuff, and never had a problem with it. And when Rick bought the team, you know, he's like, oh yeah, get that thing front and back half, make it like new. And so Nick made it like new, and basically that was like the first full run on the car, and we blew the tire out.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Our goal is for the spare car is to put a rear end in it, put a short block in it, fire it up.
Perfect. And never need it
And-
till we want to run it.
Yeah, and then we'll never need it until we break it out. Hey, let's put a couple laps on it and switch cars. I like this car more. No, I like this car.
Well, we were talking, we think, you know, with that Norwalk Night Under Fire that, you know, we're going to be doing, maybe we'll run that car there.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully we won't need it
Yeah.
at all before then.
Yeah.
And, you know, run it there and kind of get some laps on it, and then just kind of decide from there what we want to do, you know, moving forward, ready to run this car or run that car.
Yeah, it's perfect.
During the
Perfect.
countdown, what car do you want to run? This does this one does this.
So, yeah.
And so, yes, y'all just heard that. We will be, I saw some comments, we will be at the Night Under Fire at Norwalk. I've never been. I understand it is absolutely crazy. You two, I think, have been before.
Yeah.
I've been as a fan / kind of helping.
Yeah, I went there with Scott Kalitta one time, and we drove down there together and drove back. It was when he was driving the funny car, and we showed up down there. Scott and I did, and my daughter Ashley was with us, and so we're there. We've got the Scott's DHL funny car there. We're sitting there, and Bill Bader Sr. comes up. Hey guys, how you doing? How you doing? And we're like, oh man, we're good. We're happy to be here and stuff. And he goes, where's Doug at? Doug who? Well, Doug Kalitta. We're like, well, I don't know. He's probably back doing something, you know. Oh, well, Connie told me that he was gonna have Doug's car down here too to make some runs and stuff. And we're like, oh, well, he didn't tell us about that. And so Scott and I are like, oh man, Bader's gonna be pissed at us and stuff, and we probably won't get paid for this deal or whatever. And so we call up Connie. Hey Connie, like, talk to Bader Sr. And he says that you told him that we were gonna run Doug's dragster down here. And he goes, Oh yeah, I forgot about that. so anyway, Connie's like, Bader he'll be fine, and I'm like, okay. And at that time, like, I was kind of running Scott's funny car because we really didn't have a crew chief for it at the time, so it was pretty interesting. It was a lot of fun, and then we got all done, and Bader Senior told us, like, just go up to that tower and get paid, that one that's under the grandstands. Yep. There, and went up there and waited in line, and Scott's like, I don't know if he's gonna pay us since Doug's car didn't show up, and we got up there, boom, they handed us our money, and Scott and we drove back, and I think we were up like 24 hours that day. We got back to Michigan, and it was like 3 or 4 in the morning. We were dead shot, and good times.
I can't wait to do it. I know it's the largest single day drag race in the world, I guess.
It's I tell you what, when I was there, there wasn't an empty seat there, and the Baders know how to entertain people.
Yeah, I went there in 2010.
Cool.
It was my first Nitro experience, and it was packed.
Yeah,
packed. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah. We're ready for it after Bradenton.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I think it's going to be fun.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah, Nicky will be there.
Yeah.
He's bringing his motor home?
Yeah, we'll have fun.
Exactly. So last thing, because we all got to go here in a few minutes. Tell us what your theory is on Jono winning last weekend at Gainesville, the Gator Nationals.
Well, I really think that there was some big time help from above, and Nicky and we even called Jono, as we were leaving the track. They were in the winner's circle and congratulated him. And my brother says, yep, you give us enough tries, we'll get it right. And I said, well, 4th time's a charm, right? And he says, yeah. And I go, we all know how this all happened. And he's like, yep, absolutely, most definitely. And I was texting with JR, that night, congratulating him as well, and everybody, it's the same thing. It worked out so perfect, because it was Scott's Hall of Fame weekend, and then Connie got a Lifetime Achievement Award from Big Daddy Don Gartlitz, which was really awesome. So it was right,
Yeah.
And Nicky and we still think that Scott was messing with us at Bradenton, that he told us to put the whole toolbox on the clutch in the final round at Bradenton. And then I think he messed with us at Gainesville, because he's like, nah, you can't beat Doug on this weekend.
They were supposed to double up, and JR and Jono was supposed to go to the final without going down the racetrack.
Exactly. So it worked out good. It was pretty neat. I was happy with that. And then later on that night, Nicky and I and some of our friends from Massachusetts and my girlfriend Sarah, we were having dinner at Bonefish in Gainesville, and Kathy Kalitta and her husband Danny came in, and they had dinner with us. So it even though we stunk on the track, on race day, it was a nice way to end the day to sit there and BS with Kathy and Danny for a long time.
And she was at the race and saw the car win, and
yes.
I think that's only the 2nd time she's been to a race. Is that right?
She since Scott's accident, she hadn't been to a race until Bradenton, and so she came to Bradenton and she came to Gainesville, and I'm pretty sure they're probably going to have her come to all the races.
I would think so. I would think so.
Yep.
Yeah. Connie and Doug might send a plane for her.
Yeah, they'll. I think they'll spare no expense for that.
And you spoke at the Scott's induction.
Yeah, myself, Nicky Bonifani, my brother Jono, and Donnie Bender. The 4 of us, we worked on Scott's car. One of our crew members, Doug Dragoo, he's no longer with us, and it was pretty neat because, you know, Corey Kalitta, he he wasn't sure what to think about all of this, so, you know, he asked Nikki to you know, kind of organize all of this, and Nikki came up with the idea of, you know, all four of us getting up there, and we all told our, you know, little story we had of Scott. Now, we could have sat up there all night.
Oh, of course.
And told some great stories about Scott, but we knew that we couldn't stay up there too long because Connie would be like, what the hell are them guys up there talking so much for? But it was a great night, and it was long overdue to see Scott finally be put in the International Drag Racing Hall of Fame. And you know, and then for Connie to get the Lifetime Achievement Award, that was huge, because if anybody deserves something like that, it's definitely him. And I'm hoping now that the next thing I'd love to see for Scott is for him to get in the Motorsports Hall of Fame of America.
Yeah.
You know, his dad's in there, and you know, Scott has all the credentials to be in there, and that would be, you know, a really, really cool deal, and a special honor for him, because, you know, in my eyes, he's one of the greatest drag racers ever. It's just some people don't look at it because, well, he's Connie's son, or he was from a different era, but
Yeah.
he was awesome.
Oh, he lived it.
Yeah, he
And he
lived
was
it.
Connie's son. That's not necessarily the easiest
It's not
at
the
times.
easiest thing to do, but yeah, it was. I was so happy for Scott, and then you know, Corey, his son. Corey's a man of few words, and you know, so having him come up there, and you know, he was a little nervous getting in front of people, but he was like so awesome. He hit it out of the park. It was like short and sweet, and it was really a special weekend, you know, or a special night to have, you know, Corey and Colin, Scott's two boys there, and then Kathy be there. It was really neat, really neat.
That is cool. That is cool. Well, folks, me and Jimmo have got to go see Rick. Lord knows what that's about, but we're going to let you go on this one. Appreciate you watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. We'll see you in the next one.